7 people aged 13 to 24 are diagnosed with cancer every day.
On the 11th of June 2020, I was one of the 7.
4 days later, on the 15th of June 2020, I too was one of the 7.
And that brings with it a whole host of challenges.
These are the stories of what happens afterwards.
This is Afterthoughts.
The teenage years.
Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Afterthoughts, the teenage years. And we're back with me, Shaumya, and Aiden, whose microphone is finally working.
Woohoo!
So he really is in your ears now.
Yeah, apparently I'm holding the microphone as if I'm in a boy band, whatever that means. But yeah, I finally have all the tech working. Isn't that great?
And it's just in time for the boy band or person band, human band that is about to be formed with the lovely Yami, who we've just spoken to. Hodgkin's gang turn up.
Yeah, all 4 of us. So Toby, the producer, Shaumya, Yami, and I all had Hodgkin's lymphoma. What a lovely little quartet we formed.
What do you think we what would we be called? Like the Hodgies? No, that's an awful name. Like
No, that's all. Don't know.
I think Aiden's live, laugh, lymphoma is quite nice.
No, I feel that's a catchphrase, not a name though.
Okay, that could be our slogan.
That could be our first single.
Oh yeah.
That'd be quite good. Yeah.
The Hodgkin's Hellbreakers.
Oh,
are we a metal band?
Toby like that. Yeah, a bit of death metal.
I was going to go for a little twist on Florence and the Machine, but the Hodgkins and the Machines.
Oh, Hodgkins and the stem cell machines.
Also strong. Maybe we get the listeners to vote.
Also like the Lymphonites.
Oh,
yeah.
The Lymphonites. I could see that.
Yeah.
Because no one else is going to have that name. That's an awful name for anybody except for our band.
That's our USP.
We've all had cancer. Pissy listens.
Yeah. No, because not even just cancer, because otherwise Alice could be in this band, and we don't like that would be too much. So the Lymphonites.
Would that extend to non-Hodgkins as well then, or is it Hodgkins only?
We'd have to see. Hodgkins only. What? But what happens if we have somebody who's really good? Because, like, I think we discovered you both have played the drums before, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So we have got some skills. We didn't. Why we didn't ask Yami what instrument Yami would play?
That might have been important to the formation of our band.
Yeah, but other than that, I don't know. Like, it depends. Like, we could have somebody who's got really good, like, singing voice. I feel like we would need something else. And if they had non-Hodgkins, are you gonna say yes?
Alice has said hello. Alice, just a reminder, this is only if you've had lymphoma. So sorry.
She could make a special feature.
I'm not sure about that. I think Alice
Little
said
collab. Anyway, speaking to Yami was amazing. She told us some great stories that were super, super powerful and interesting. I personally am really excited to get into those around us section. I don't know about you, Aiden.
I am particularly excited about her evolution section. Speaks about being a woman of colour and having cancer and her hair and what that meant to her and her identity. And it's just a great section, and it is something that is not spoken about enough. So I think it will resonate with a lot of people, and I'm really excited for it.
Well, let's not hold them back any longer, and we'll just roll right into it. Hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Afterthoughts, the teenage years. And today we are joined by the lovely Yami.
Hello.
With her blurred background, if she doesn't mind me outing her.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to get into my bedroom because it's just, gross.
How are you today, Yami?
I am brilliant today. I am feeling ready and raring to go.
Yami, have you just been to a TCT event?
Yeah, I have actually. Yeah. It was in Oxford. We went for Five Guys and then we went and did like board games. And we've got one of the board game cafes in Milton Keynes, but every time I walk past, it gives like Dungeons and Dragons vibes. So I'm like, this isn't really me. But we went and it was actually really, really good. Like, we played like some good games, so I would definitely recommend.
What games did you play?
Okay, so we played this game and it was like kind of like Pictionary, but you pass on the games to each other.
What's it called? Telestrations.
something. I don't know. We were just playing it, but it was really good. But I got one, and obviously I'm with like TYA members, and it's like, oh, it's just a bit awkward because I got one. And I was just like, is this inappropriate? Do I want to give this to you? So I was just like, oh, but yeah, no, it was good fun.
What was it? Are you able to tell us what
It was sex bomb. So, and then I drew like stick men doing like doggy and then a bomb. And I was just like, I don't want to give this to you. Like, this is really like, and then he wrote doggy bomb. And I was just like, oh, this is just too much. Like, it was just, yeah. But it was good fun.
Dear.
Yeah.
Well, we've escaped that awkwardness now.
Yeah, it was so awkward. Ugh.
Oh dear. Well, we're here now, ready to fly into a cool episode of recording. Yeah, let's roll into some quick fire questions.
Yami, what are your pronouns?
She, her.
Who do people say you look like?
I don't have like a celebrity look-alike, but people always say that I look like my dad, which is, I'll just take it, innit? Like, yeah. I look like my dad, especially now that I've like got shorter hair. I low-key see the resemblance. But yeah, my dad.
What was the last song you listened to?
What was the last song I listened to? Let me check. So I was literally just listening to music in the car. It is Fine Girl by ZZ. I had like my summer bangers on. 3 throwbacks in there. So yeah.
Nice, sun's out. Get some tunes on. Next up, what is your favourite pasta shape?
Like, what's the long one? Linguine? Yeah, linguine.
Yeah. I always need to ask this now, but why is that your favourite pasta shape?
It's just easier to eat because like you just chop it and you can just like then like into your mouth, or you can like slurp. Like it's just makes more sense, and I feel like it fills me up more than other pastas.
Fair enough. What's one thing you can't leave the house without? And that's assuming that you have your phone, wallet, and keys.
Vaseline.
Oh, someone else has said that.
Yeah, no, I cannot have dry lips when I'm out and about. Definitely Vaseline or like chapstick. Something for my lips for sure.
Follow up, what flavour, as Aiden asked the last guest?
I just like the blue one, the like original. I don't like the blue like aloe vera or like coconut. It's not for me. I just like it plain, simple, original.
Some would say basic. Moving swiftly on so I don't get in trouble for that. What's something you would love to learn?
Another language. Not another language. Well, I can fluently understand my parents' native language, but I can't speak it. So I'd love to learn to actually speak it like fluently and not sound like an idiot when I try to. So yeah.
I'm the same with my parents and they laugh every time I try.
Yeah, you just get mocked. You just like stop. But I do want to learn it because like that's something that I want to then just like, it's just such a cool flex, isn't it? To be like, oh, yeah, well, I can speak another language.
Yeah, very cool. Right, this next one's been divisive, but you've got your scone. Are you putting the jam on first or the cream on first?
Okay, hear me out. I don't even like cream on them. I just have jam.
See, but that doesn't count. That doesn't count.
I don't like cream whatsoever. I just have jam.
I would just like to say, officially, you put the jam on first, though. Yeah,
because that's the only thing that's going on. So jam first, definitely.
So that's 1 point to the jam first side. That's what I'm saying.
Lastly, do you want to give us a quick summary of your diagnosis?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma when I was 18, so 2 years ago. I've had chemotherapy, a clinical trial, radiotherapy, and a stem cell transplant.
Because people with cancer are all tired of telling the same old diagnosis story, we hope to look beyond that story. This is Beyond a Diagnosis.
I was obviously really excited to get my A-level results and like find out about going into uni and everything like that. So I'm thinking, yeah, like, oh, is there still a possibility I can go to uni? Because obviously I've got this. I know I'm ill and I've got cancer, obviously. So obviously, because it was all COVID and everything, we literally just went into school and we picked up our piece of paper and we just left. I'd opened it in the car on my own, seen her pass. And then literally, like, as I was in the car, the hospital rang me. I was like, great timing, guys. yeah, so I didn't really open it with my friends or anything like that. But I'm still in my head. We don't know like how long chemo is going to go on for, like all of this stuff. So in the back of my head, I'm still thinking, oh, maybe I can still go. Like, yeah, I just remember feeling like really deflated, and I was just like so jealous of all my friends because obviously they'd be like, yeah, like we're going. Oh my god, like everyone else around me was just so excited. And I just remember thinking like, why me? Yeah, it's just not very nice, is it? Because, and then that kind of theme of like being left behind, like everyone's going to exciting cities. I'm in little old Milton Keynes doing this, like going to hospital. Like that was then my daily routine, my thing to be doing. So yeah, that was difficult. I remember like obviously being sad about it for a while, and I just like was like, you know, it is what it is now. And I just messaged all my friends and I was like, I'm having a party. You know what I just did? I just made like a Snapchat story with all the people I invited. It was like 20 of us. And I just had it called like F cancer. And that was just it. And then everyone was like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I think I had like a party like 3 days later, and I was just like, YOLO.
In Those Around Us, we explore the people, well, around us who have shaped our cancer journeys.
So, oh my God, like I've had chemo and that beforehand. So I'd had like symptoms and stuff, but the stem cell transplant, oh my God, I was literally waking up in the middle of the night to go to the toilet. Like I was in, it's funny now thinking about it, but it was literally like something out of a show. Like you must have thought like I'd taken a litre of laxatives, like, and nothing was staying in me. It was horrible. And like, I couldn't like sit down because obviously my bottom's in pain. Like it was tough. And I was like, Mum, we need to do something. Because I was too embarrassed to say to the nurses, all like, I'm having a bit of pain. So then my mum's like, okay, cool. Let me sort this all out for you. She's come back. She's got like the flushable wipe. She's got the lotion. Like she was ready, kitted. She's like, okay, we've got this. Start using the wipes. And then I was just like, oh, so what do I do with this? Like, she was like a little sachet. And it's like, you squeeze out the cream. You obviously just put it on your bum type thing. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. Not that it's embarrassing, but it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I was just so exhausted. And she was like, fine, just get onto bed. And she just did her thing, like magic. And I'm just like a few days later, I'm like, oh, I'm like literally no more pain, walking around, just going to the toilet. So it was a breeze after that. But yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do it without her. Like, I just did not have the confidence to go to my nurse. I'm like, I'm in loads of pain. I'm this type of person, just like suffer in silence. Whereas my mum was like, girl, like, be serious. And she just sorted it out for me. She just, yeah. I'd have to say, like, both my parents, like, oh, the best, like, absolute miracle workers. Like, my mum, oh, an angel. Like, everyone just says that she's an angel. Like, and then my dad, yeah, like, my dad as well. Like, the poor guy, like, obviously because of COVID and everything. My hospital was in Oxford, so it's about an hour away. He would drive me to Oxford, wait in the car for chemo, literally wait like 5 hours, just like doing like nothing. Like he at first was like, yeah, I'm going to go to the garden centre. I'm going to go to a few charity shops, like just trying to like keep himself busy. And it just breaks my heart that he would literally just wait there for hours in the car for me, like angels.
Aside from the hair, the nails, the eyebrows, there are other impacts that affect those with cancer. This next section is invisible impacts.
I went and got my ovaries taken out before I had my stem cell transplant. And yeah, that was tough because I knew it was happening. I knew it was going to come, but it'd always been delayed because of like, when I first did chemo, it was like, oh, you're only doing a few sessions of chemo, so you might not need it. So it got pushed back a little bit. And then it was, okay, you're doing a clinical trial. It's not going to affect your fertility. We'll forget about that for now. And then it was, you're doing radiotherapy. We'll forget about it for now. And then obviously I started to do the stem cell transplant. It was like, okay, we need to think about that again. So I had it in the back of my mind, but I hadn't actually thought about it. And honestly, I didn't think about it until the day, like I was literally driving to the hospital and I was like, oh my God, like I'm literally about to have one of my ovaries taken out so I can have kids. I've not even thought about having kids. Like, do I want kids? Like, what does my boyfriend think? Like, just what? Like, it was, yeah, that was really tough. And I think I just felt really bad. Like, I was really like, oh, it was just such a difficult day. And like, I remember my my mum and my aunt came with me. And I remember being like really annoyed that my mum had brought my aunt along, because it was like, I'm upset right now. Like, I don't want people around. Like, I want to be alone in this. And now I look back at it and it's like, my mum was obviously going through it as well. Like, it's hard for her to be taking her 19-year-old daughter to go and get her ovary taken out. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult for her. And I just remember feeling like really angry at just like everyone, because it's like, why am I in this position? Why am I having to go through this? Like, you're just everything. And now I look back and it's like, thank God my mum had someone there to support her, because I wasn't in the right like headspace to be supporting her. And like, my aunt, bless her, Angel as well, made the day go 10 times easier. We had somebody to be like, oh, can you run and get this from the shops? Like, just someone to be there as a bigger support system. I feel like I'm very much, I want to run before I can walk. So I only had my stem cell transplant in November, and my period came back the following month. So I've had like consecutive periods. And then I think it was February, I didn't have a period. And then in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, oh my God, like, what does this mean? I haven't had a period this month. Like, I'm getting hot flushes. What does it mean? It was having more of an impact. And yeah, like now that I'm out of it, and I'm just like trying to make sense of it all now that I'm not necessarily in treatment. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, cool, my body is better now. Everything should just go back to normal, and it hasn't. So when things aren't going back to normal, I'm starting to think, oh my gosh, like, am I infertile? Is my fertility still messed up? What do I do? Like, just what? That is my thing. What? Like, I think whilst I was like, obviously going through chemo and like having all the treatments, you don't really think like my main priority anyway was to get physically better. And I definitely neglected my mental health, because it's not in the forefront of your mind. Like, in my head, I'm thinking, oh yeah, I was like sad and stuff, but like, I was more focused on getting physically better. So like, now that I'm at the opposite end of it, it's a bit like, oh, I'm starting to realize, well, maybe I'm not like 100% okay in my head. And like literally the other day, I was saying, I was getting my lashes done, and I was like saying to like my lash tech, I was like, yeah, like, I'm in therapy. Like, I've got a therapist, and like we speak about everything I've gone through. And she was like, you're in therapy, like, you don't like give off those vibes. And I'm like, I've just had like 2 years of like constant like unknowing and like so many emotions that I haven't been able to like sit down and like actually approach properly. Like, God, of course I'm in therapy. Like, I need to get my head better. So yeah, I definitely think my mental health was like impacted.
In this section, we explore some of the experiences that only those with cancer have had. It's teenage kicks.
You know what? I'm not actually like Mystic Meg. So the day before I was told in hospital that it was the big C, I said to my friend, this is giving the Fault in Our Stars. You know, in Hazel Grace, her lung fills up with like water. And I was like, my lung filled up with water. So now I'm putting 2 and 2 together. And I've said to Adam, that's my boyfriend, I said to him, I'm not being funny, mate. I think it's cancer. Like, before they even said it to me. And he's like, no, don't be silly. Once again, everyone around me brushing me off. And then I remember ringing him the next day. I'd obviously cried about it, and I was just like to him, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was right, it's cancer. And I was laughing, and he's obviously like being serious. And I'm just there like, lol, like joking about it. And he was obviously taken aback, like he's like, what is going on? And yeah, I remember laughing about it, but I could tell that he was a bit more like solemn about it. He was obviously like, oh, okay, what does this mean type thing? And I remember him coming to visit me in the hospital, and I was just like, yeah, mate, this is our next date. It's like, we're doing it in the hospital. And he would always, I feel like I'm cringing so hard at myself. But I got moved to another hospital in Oxford, and he drove over an hour to come see me. And I was literally like sick of hospital food. I was just like, bring me actual food. He's going to hate me for saying this. And then he brings me, I'm thinking, yeah, he's going to bring me like something really nice. I feel so bad because I still take the piss out of this. He brought me rice, like just plain rice and chicken nuggets. And I was just like, why would you bring me just plain rice in like a lunchbox and like some chicken nuggets. And it was just like the thought that went into it, because obviously he'd known that I was hungry type thing. But I was just like, Gordon Ramsay would be like, get out, mate. Like, plain rice and chicken nuggets, like just so random. So yeah, from then he'd then like bring me like food and stuff. I remember he brought me like a Domino's once, and like it was giving Fault in Our Stars, because I had like fairy lights in the hospital room. I did my room up. It was very romantic. The nurse let him stay for like 3 hours longer than he was allowed to. It was really, really cute. So little things like that, like very sweet. We'd literally only been together for like 3 months. So I'm just like, mate, got some bad news for you. You can either hit the highway or start doing something. And just like clicked after like obviously being ill. Like we just had to like grow up very quickly. So yeah, I don't think a lot of people my age can relate to that. Like,
This section looks at how we change as people. Up next, it's evolution.
Yeah, I feel like after getting diagnosed, like I think a lot of people can relate when you like literally say like part of your identity is taken away, especially when I lost my hair. I'm very much like I'm going to pretend it's fine. I'm gonna be like, yeah, haha, this is so funny. But like losing my hair was horrible. Like it was horrid. All throughout secondary school, I was very insecure about my hair because I was the only black girl in my year. So I was just very insecure about being in my natural state, like with like an afro and everything like that. Because obviously my peers didn't look like me. So I would just like get my hair done. Like I don't think any of my friends from secondary school could be like, yeah, I know what she looks like with her natural hair, because I was always very insecure about it. And then I moved sixth forms, and the black girls there are angels. Like they really like, I don't know, just like having that representation, seeing people who look like me really gave me confidence. And then COVID happened and I couldn't get my hair done. So I was stuck with, what are you going to do now? So I literally like just started to embrace it, started really looking after it. And like, I was finally at a point where I was like, you know what? I could like go out in this, like I could fully walk around and not feel like, oh my God, like my hair looks a type of way. People are saying things like all these little things in my head that people aren't even thinking, I wasn't thinking about. So I finally got into a point where I was just like, oh, like I'm finally comfortable in my own skin. And then cancer came along and was like, no, we're going to make you bald. And I was just like, I honestly like, I don't know, but like hair for me is like really part of my identity. Like it plays a big part in how you feel about yourself, like just like everything. Do you know what I mean? It just makes your confidence, and you just feel better when your hair looks good and like everything. So I was literally heartbroken, because I was literally like, I've spent all this time like nourishing like who I was in secondary school and like building her up to be confident again, to have that knockdown again. And I remember, oh my God, like guys, I'm actually gonna cry. This was really sad. Like, oh my God. So I shaved my hair off, and because I'm on social media, oh my God, you would not think I'm going for anything. I'm like, YOLO. So I took a selfie and I was like, I like put a Snapchat caption on. I was like, who needed hair anyway? And like the views were crazy. I could tell people like sharing it with their friends. It was getting sent around. And like, I remember one boy screenshotted it, and then like all of his friends had added me on Snapchat. And I just felt like so defeated, because it was like, oh, like I'm getting sent into like group chats. Like you just feel really like, oh, here I am being like, yeah, I look really good. Like, yeah, I love it. And then like people are still saying things about it anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it was really, really tough. And I remember like me and my friends, I've got 4 little girlfriends, and we went out for mini golf. And I was just like, you know what? It's my hair. Like this is literally my reality. I can't do anything about it. So I've gone out, I've like put a little scarf, and I looked really cute and everything. And I just remember getting home and I just like burst out in tears, because I just felt like so like, I don't even know what I felt. I just felt like, ugh, do you know what I mean? Like it's just deflating, because it's like, I've gone from feeling like a 10 out of 10, confident every day, no matter what. And now I'm literally feeling like a 0. And I wasn't even a 0. Like I'm gorgeous. And yeah, it was something that I really struggled, because it was literally like, part of my identity has been stripped away. And I think as a woman of colour, it's very easy to be like, oh, I'm really strong, like this hasn't affected me. And people were always saying, oh, like, oh yeah, but black girls like have short hair, like they look really good, Bob. And it's like, okay, cool, but I don't like that. Do you know what I mean? And people were trying to comfort me, and they're like, yeah, oh, like this person's done it, oh, like this person's done it. But like, I didn't choose for it to happen to me. Like, I didn't want it to happen. So it was like, my ultimate response was, yeah, I love it, like, oh, slay. But deep down, like, it's hurt. Like, it's so much deeper than just hair to me. Like, it's never been that. Even every single time, like, in my life, it's always never just been hair to me. So I was just heartbroken. And now I'm literally like, I love it. Like, I'm literally contemplating just having short hair forever, because I really do like it. Like, I've gotten used to it. And like I said, it is my reality. I don't have long hair at the moment. I've lost my hair because of cancer. What can I do? And I remember I'd grown my hair from when I first lost it until the stem cell transplant. And the woman came in and she was like, I'm going to cut your hair, because obviously it was in hospital. And I was just like, oh, get rid of it, mate. I'm loving it. Like, I don't really care. Like, I've literally gotten used to it. And the second time round wasn't as painful. I don't think it was painful. I was just like, oh, here we go again. It was annoying because the hair had got really long, but you know what it is, like, it's my reality, and I'm starting to build on that again. Like, I was very much hiding behind like scarves and wigs and things like that, but I was just like, I look really good. Like, I don't even want to brag, but like, I look very good.
And you do look gorgeous, by the way. I was just waiting to say that.
Stop it.
I was like, yeah, you do. In this section, we look to remind you all that cancer's not always doom and gloom. It's don't laugh.
Okay, picture it. I'm on a ward with 6 elderly ladies. It is heat waves, like 31 degrees. We are delirious. We are hot. It is terrible. And then my lovely dad walks in the room and he just drops me over some clothes. Thanks, Dad. Angel. Love him. And then finally gets over to visitation time, and my boyfriend comes strolling over and he has his hour visitation. One of the women opposite me, and this is a recurring theme for my dad, one of the women opposite me was like, oh, have you got 2 boyfriends? And I'm like, I wish, babes. No, I don't. I was like, no, the guy who just left, that's my boyfriend. She's like, so who was that young gentleman who came and saw you this morning? And I'm like, literally like thinking, okay, cool, who's seen me today? Right, Adam's come to see me. I've had a doctor do this. Had a nurse come to see me. I'm like literally racking my brain trying to figure out who's come and seen me today. And I'm like, you mean my father, the man of my house who has 3 children, one of them who is 18, my dad? And she's like, that's your dad? And I'm like, Jane, yes, that is my dad. Like, what? Like, it's a reoccurring thing. Everyone thinks that he's so much younger than he is. And I'm like, the guy's, he's 51. But to think he's my boyfriend, like, come on. Literally, when I went into hospital for a checkup 2 weeks ago. And my dad's just come in and taken me in. And my nurse goes, oh, who's that young man you're with? Young man? Like, stop it. Like, actually calm down. To the point people are getting him confused with my boyfriend to think he's my... I'm like, how? Like, what? The guy wears like cardigans. Like, he's given 50-year-old in my eyes. But everyone thinks that he's my boyfriend or like just a friend visiting. And I'm like, no.
Wow. I feel like that's one of those things where your dad would probably like love that and take it as a real compliment if it weren't with his own daughter.
He loves it. He's like, yeah, I'm that guy. And another thing is, he, like, instead of like shaking people's hands, my dad fist bumps everyone when he meets them. And I'm like, you are not 20. You're not on the roads. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're actually saying hello to my consultant. Who you spudding? Do you know what I mean? Like, he thinks he is a young buck and he's not. Like, oh, no.
I was going to say, no, the spudding, it's a COVID-safe greeting.
Yeah, that's probably why he does it. But he's always just been very much like, he's very laid back. So when he sees people, he's just like, yeah, my G. Like, he just quick spuds. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, on that note, it is time to wrap up another great episode of Afterthoughts. Thank you so much for coming along, Yami, and telling us some great stories.
Oh, you're welcome. Sorry.
And thank you to Aiden and Toby as well. And we'll all see you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What an episode. Hopefully you enjoyed that just as much as I did. So, Shaumya, what are your afterthoughts on this episode of Afterthoughts?
Oh, well, there were so many to choose from, but I just really loved the way Yami talks about her relationships in lots of spheres of her life changing. And, you know, I now basically want to meet both her parents because they sound like fantastic humans. But I thought her story about her boyfriend bringing the slightly interesting meal of plain rice and chicken nuggets was both hilarious, but also really, really sweet. And I think it just really goes to show the power of people around you when you go through cancer.
And I know, and I was about to say, I normally hate the Fault in Our Stars reference. I think they're really cliched, but I could not help but find that one quite heartwarming.
Yeah. I think that got us all in the feels.
It did.
What are your afterthoughts on this episode of Afterthoughts, Aiden?
My afterthoughts are about, you know, how we do need a bit more representation for sort of people of colour within the sort of cancer community. I think, you know, you and I are quite lucky, people of colour. We had each other's experience to go off of, you know, Asian parents and whatnot. You know, as medical students, I'm not sure about you, but when it comes to, you know, things like rashes and treatment and stuff like that, there's very little that's sort of specifically for people of colour, even though the experiences are very, very different.
I completely agree. I think it's massive. Yeah, and I just think it's really important that we get more voices like Yami's out there into the atmosphere for people to hear, so that there's more awareness for people of colour and their experiences with cancer. We actually had a really great chat with her afterwards, didn't we, about kind of people of colour contacting her and wanting to learn from her experiences, which was really powerful. And we've also been chatting about an organisation called Black Women Rising, who do lots of work in this sphere.
Yeah, I think the fact that people are reaching out to her, especially quite a young woman of colour, shows there's a massive gap in resources for stuff like that hopefully we will slowly be able to start to fill. And unfortunately, that is all we have for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. And this is Aiden signing out once again.
And this is Shaumya signing out too. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye. If today's episode of Afterthoughts has brought up any thoughts or feelings that you'd like to speak to someone about, we really recommend catching up with a friend or dropping them a message. There are a whole host of charities out there if you've experienced cancer and want to get some extra support.
Thanks so much to Teenage Cancer Trust for supporting Afterthoughts The Teenage Years. Supporting teens and young adults diagnosed with cancer in the UK, the work they do is incredible. Find out more at teenagecancertrust.org and check out their socials. This series has been hosted by Aiden Grant and Shaumya Kularajan and produced by Alice May Purkis and Toby Peach from Beyond Arts. Sound design is by Dinah Mullen and Kieran Lucas.